What's going on, y'all? Married to Medicine, season 3, episode 4, boys on. Ooh, no, episode 11, boys on the side. Okay, so let's get into this episode. I'm gonna get into it real quick because it really wasn't much to the episode. All the drama and stuff happened towards the end, like the last 10 minutes. Other than that, I will kind of say that I'm gonna be quite honest. This season, it has not been giving me everything that I wanted. I don't know what it just seems a little dull. Like the drama in it, it's drama, but it's not real drama. You get what I'm saying? It don't seem like real. Even sometimes you can have fake drama that seem real, but this just seemed petty and just like, girl, what? But it was cute. Dr. Heavenly had little Laura go over there to Lisa Nicole place and try to become, her intern. When Laura said, "Girl, are you gonna pay me?" and Lisa said, "Girl, how much?" She was like $30 an hour. I said, first of all, the majority of the interns don't get paid. Okay, you do have some paid interns, but bitch, not that much. Come on, 30. Girl, you 9 years old. Stay in a 9-year-old place, but I like your hustle. Um, and she was teaching her how to sketch, and she did a little dress that she wanted her mama to wear at her event that she's about to have. Um, Watch her face. Dr. Heavenly is about to have this event to launch her app, her dating app. It's ready and it's ready to be launched and all that stuff. So that was cute. Um, Lisa Nicole talking about some she cleaning house and you know getting rid of ex-employees since people was putting out her business and all that shit. Bitch, you need to go and do a cleansing on yourself and to go talk to yourself and say, I need to learn how to encrypt my files and let my eyes be the only person to see my private files, okay? And not let other people within my office see them because there are some things that I shouldn't be letting be known or whatever. And if it's personal like that, keep that shit at home on the computer and you bring your shit and keep your office shit in your office, okay? Girlfriend, because then you wouldn't have had all this bullshit. Because I really do think it was an ex-employee who spilled your tea to over there to Quad and started all this shit. Just to be vindictive and all that stuff. But then you fed right into it because you gave them the access. That was your dumb ass fault. But moving on from that, she got a new store manager and all that shit, whatever. That was cute. And when Alora was talking about how the dress wasn't fitting right, and she was like, I don't like the color. Lisa Nicole said, well, green is for money. Alora said, but I don't like the color. And Dr. Heavenly was like, girl, Alora said, shh. I said, oops. You gonna let her hush you like that? And I said, it's Dr. Heavenly, so yeah. Dr. Heavenly can stand up to all these women, but can't stand up to her little child, her daughter, her meanie me. Ain't that some shit, bitch? But next week, her and Jill gonna get into it. I can't wait to see that. And then Mariah is back next week. Maybe Mariah was needed for some real drama. I don't know. And truth be told, I really don't like Mariah like that. And she irked me last season. But given what she's been going through, with the loss of her her miscarriage and all that stuff, that could have been a real good storyline for her if she would have came back. And it probably would have softened the people who didn't like her anymore. The audience that's looking probably could have softened our hearts to her a little bit and see her trying to change or whatever the fuck. We could have saw that. Probably saw a different side to her and all that shit. But she put that out there. When Lisa Nicole was like, I'm tired of all these rumors. And then Mariah was like, what you talking about? Like when you said that I was a lesbian, I said, oh, clock that shit, bitch. But anyway, moving on. What else is going on? Toya and her husband, she's still on this nomad shit. She trying to get it off the ground, trying to get the money rolling in, and they trying to figure out different ways to get the shit really, really popping. And he just going back and forth, conflicted about having his wife working with him and if it's really gonna work, and all this stuff and yada yada yada. And I'm like, boy, you really don't want your wife to work with you. Just say it. And if that's what it is, say it, stick to it, and put your foot down, okay? Because that's what it sounds like coming out of your mouth. You talking about some Toya don't stick to what she do. First she want to be a sales rep, then she want to be a teacher, then you stop being a teacher to go back to being a sales rep, and then you talking about some, you want to stay at home and all this stuff, and then they had this big debate about whether or not she really said she wanted to stay at home and couldn't go to work, or she went to work after she gave birth. Who cares? Okay, you still not working and you still at home, and you, girl, whatever. Okay, fine. But moving on from that, um, what else happened? Did anybody? Dr. Simone. Dr. Simone had the best little storyline because it was real life. It was real life. One of her patients that, she's heavily involved with, because basically she's been coming there for years, and she's her doctor, her mother's doctor, probably a sister doctor. Bitch, damn near all the females in her family, she their doctor. So she all incorporated in the family, and delivered the child and the children and all that shit. But the woman came in there, and she came in, and see, I love when your doctor have a good, when doctors have that good relationship with their clients, with their patients, that they feel as though they're comfortable enough always to come and talk to them. And it's almost like they family, but you could tell that they really care, but they care about their business, and they know what they're talking about, and they're going to give you that best attention. I like that, because that's how it is with our doctor like that. And our doctor calls and check up and see if everything's cool and all that shit. So you got to go out there and find a doctor to trust and all that stuff. And you doctors, you have to have that personality and all that stuff to make people want to come back to you. Because if you don't, that's the shit that'll turn me off from you and make me go to somebody else, okay? If it just look like you just doing your job just to do your job to get paid and get the fuck out of here, I'm not here for that shit, okay? But the girl came in and she said she found 3 lumps on her breast. So once again, we getting a lesson, okay? Breast cancer. Dr. Jackie, she had breast cancer twice, and she, got through that. And it's just going to show that you do need to do self-examinations. If your one breast feel heavier than the other, the skin feel thicker, you feel lumps in your lymph nodes and all that stuff, do your self-examinations. Look in the mirror, do that shit every day when you, taking a shower or whatever. And if you feel something funny, women, don't put it off. Okay? Don't think, oh, it's nothing. Just go ahead and call your doctor and put that out there, because hey, you never know what could be going on, and it could be something, and you catch it right at the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Instead of just letting it go on, and then it get to a point where, well, this is the final stage, and there's really nothing we can do about it. Okay? And I like that little tidbit, because that's what I got from it. And they did the little exam, and come to find out, she had like a cyst. It was some cyst, and it was benign. So, she was cool, because if it would have came back that she had breast cancer, I would have said, on national TV. But then that still would have been a learning lesson, still. So Dr. Jackie is having the fit is the new it. And she want to have all the girls there, her other clients. And this what pissed me off. Well, we're going to get to it in a second. But this pissed me off because other clients were there. And I like when it first came on and Dr. Jackie had the little boot camp going. And the girl was working out on the thing. And she was like, you lost 40 pounds. You 40 pounds down. Keep doing it. She was giving that encouragement. I said, 40 pounds. Bitch, okay, girl, and before we get to the actual event, bitch, hell no. Before we get to the actual event, I just know this shit was gonna fuck up. I'm sorry, y'all, that shit just threw me off. Before we get to the actual event, what was going on? Dr. Lisa. No. Lisa was talking to her husband and talking about the fact that she knows about the boy coming up to Quad telling her about Dr. Darren supposedly gay and all this shit. She laughing it off, and Dr. Darren is like, it is what it is, it's whatever. They not taking it seriously, so you say. Okay, and I wish Lisa would have kept that front up, okay? Because you acting like it don't matter in your home, but then when you get out in public, that's when you want to blow up. I'm going to read Lisa, and I'm going to read Toya, and I'm going to read Quad. Quad, listen, you was at your home, you brought it up to your husband or whatever, and then you kept on saying, but it's none of my business, so I moved myself from it, but yet you kept throwing shade. You kept throwing that shade. You kept trying to imply that this man is sleeping with somebody else, this other man, or this shit is going on in their marriage. But yet you say you're not involved in it, but you keep throwing shade at it. That's one. In a confessional, when Dr. Darren at the end was trying to give his little speech about, that's not his lifestyle and all that stuff, here you go. Dr. King had the I have a dream speech. But then Darren gets up and have his I am a queen speech with the crown. That was not needed. That was shady as fuck. That was messy as fuck. But then you want to stand there and say something, I had nothing to do with that. That's none of my business. I'm not into it. I'm not this. I'm not that. Then why throw shade at it in the confessional? Just let it go. Okay? I just didn't like that. I just didn't like that. I just didn't like Quad in this episode, period. Because, well, let's just get there. So they got this hypnotized, hypnotist lady there trying to, do the mind with the body and all that shit. It made sense to me, but I don't believe in that hypnotism shit. And, don't fuck with my mind. It's fucked up enough. But, all the people are there. Everyone is there. Toya is there, Quad, Lisa, her husband, Simone and her husband, Toya, Dr. Heavenly, and then it was like at least 3 other patients of Jackie that was there that are not a part of the show. And this is where I really got pissed off, because all this shit popped off. Why? Because Lisa opened up her fucking mouth, one, and then she opened up her fucking mouth to the wrong bitch, Toya, and then that bitch opened up her mouth to fucking Quad in front of every fucking body. And then Quiet, being quiet, has to respond back, but she could have just ignored it and, walked the fuck away. But of course not. She gonna respond back like, bitch, I ain't got shit to do with that. Girl, it was just so fucking embarrassing. I felt bad for Dr. Jackie, and not because they was arguing and doing all that shit, but it was because they was doing it in front of her other clients that are sitting there looking like, why y'all putting y'all business out in front of all these strangers? Okay? Everybody don't need to know this stuff. Okay? Lisa, Quad did see you come in. Y'all did kind of see each other. I thought it was going to be okay, but then Quad turned around and she just didn't pay no mind or whatever. Fine. Okay. And I thought it was going to be cool. And then this the shit I don't like. You did not have to sit there. If you was going to say hello to Lisa, to Toya, you did not have to sit there and I'm sorry, y'all. I'm trying to tweet out this review. It just popped up. The basketball one. I don't know what's wrong. My internet's kind of slow a little bit. But okay. You did not have to tweet. You didn't have to tweet. You did not have to sit there next to Toya and bring up the fact of what, Quad supposedly did and how she supposedly set this shit up with this little boy or whatever the fuck. Okay? You didn't have to tell her that at that moment. All right, girl, let me tell you. Mind you, Quad is either sitting behind her at this moment, and then at one point, it seemed like they redid the scene, and Quad was right there. Right there. So I'm like, I know Quad is hearing this, and I just know she gonna say some shit. And it seems like to me, Lisa, you did that shit on purpose so drama can start. This was not the time nor the place. Yes, you want to address things, but it's called timing and it's called fucking tact. And you have none. These bitches on here don't have none of that. And that bitch that's sitting next to you definitely don't have none. Okay? And she said to say that my husband was sleeping around with this little boy and all this stuff. Toya like, bitch, am I still sleeping? Quiet. You wouldn't say no shit like that. You said that her husband. I said, you dumb, ignorant, messy ass bitch. Why would you do that? I'm just not here for that. That is the messiest shit. And then Quiet comes over like, don't do this. Don't do this. That's not my business. And all this shit, it's not your business, but you're throwing shade at it in the confessionals. Okay, girl. But it's not my business. I removed myself from it. It's old. It's tired. I don't know what's going on in your relationship, who y'all fucking around with. And if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. Now, see, Quiet could have been a bigger person, like I said, and just walked away. Or if she wanted to say something, she could have said, that's not my business. This is Jackie's event. We're not going to do this, and I'm going to walk the fuck away. She did kind of say some of that, but she did still engage into it. Okay? She still let it get to her to the point that she's going back and forth with this girl, and you really didn't have to. You could have just let Lisa continue to look stupid for bringing this shit up. Okay? If you really didn't have nothing to do with it, just say, nope, nope, I'm not finna discuss this. I didn't say nothing. It is what it is. This is Jackie Benson. I'm moving on. Or you could just be like, you didn't even have to acknowledge that. But of course, Quiet gonna talk, and I understand. I understand you're not gonna talk about me. I get both sides. You're not gonna sit here and talk about me, and I'm hearing my name getting called, but I'm not gonna really say nothing. But she didn't have to go as far because Toya, bitch, you fell right into Toya trap. She set that shit up so you can go off. That's basically what she did. No lie. She did that shit on purpose. Toya knew what the fuck she was doing. And Lisa, you knew what the fuck she was doing too. That's why you told that bitch. That's exactly why. And that's why I feel no sympathy. If your husband fucked around with a dude, your husband fucked around with a dude. If it comes out that it's a lie, it's a fucking lie, and the old boy will get his. Like I said, I'm not here for people exposing stuff, but you never know what goes on when your husband is not around you or whatever the fuck. You don't know, okay? You just don't know. So you can't say that he didn't, you can't say that he did. But it is what it is. But why would you want the whole world to fucking know? I mean, granted, it's on TV now, but why would you want everybody there to know, at that moment? You could have kept that shit to yourself. And then y'all going back and forth, and then, Quiet saying that she never met the boy, but then Lisa had some receipts saying that, hey, this is the pictures that you with him, and she was like, I do all these type of events. That's nothing. I don't know. And that's the event. But you don't know, but you know that that's the event that he met supposedly Darren at. Okay, so you got to be consistent with your stories and stuff. I'm just saying this for everybody. Be consistent with your stories. And they just going in. I'm just looking like Dr. Darren trying to get up. At first he wanted to be quiet. Then he wanted to get up and try to say that it wasn't true. That's not my life. That's this and da 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 da. And I'm like, nigga, just sit there and be quiet. Okay, just let them go into it. And then Quiet irked me when she was like, this ain't got nothing to do with you, Darren. Let two women talk. And I'm like, but you talking about him. So it do got something to do with him. Quiet, you did bring him up into y'all argument. Okay, you brought him up into y'all argument at the beginning with the background check. You brought shit up about him. So of course it's gonna involve him. Regardless of if you're talking to Lisa, you're talking about him too. So therefore he's not gonna sit there. He sit there and he hearing his name, and you're not talking about what Lisa is doing. You're talking about what's supposedly going on with Darren. So of course he gonna say something, but I'm just preferred him to shut the fuck up because that little speech, girl, I said, sit down, boy. Because it just felt like either he was put on the spot, he was trying to remember some lines, he was stuttering, he was thinking a little bit, trying to see, let me get this word right. Let me put this out here. Is it going to cause the most effect to say that, hey, they going to believe when I say I ain't fucking around with this little boy? Or, I don't know if it came off as if I believed it or not, but Dr. Darren just, okay. And Jackie had to tell Lisa, just stop it, please. And she came to her correct, just please stop it, let it go. She said, you don't want, every time that you bring it up, you smearing your own husband name because you keep putting it out there. And I said, thank you, Jackie. Thank you for having the fucking sense. And she told Quiet to shut the fuck up too. Okay, just let that shit go. Y'all need to stop this bullshit. Here go Quiet, ever so dramatic. I am so sorry, Dr. Jackie, from the bottom and the depths of my soul. Okay, at the bottom of my Versace, Louis Vuitton, Gucci boots. Okay, all of them put together. I am so sorry. I was like, okay, Quiet, calm down, calm down. But y'all tell me how y'all felt. Like I said, I'm still on the fence. At this point, I truly don't care if he was fucking around with somebody, hey, okay, and at this point, you never really know if that was something going on in their marriage that she probably already knew about, and she just didn't want that shit to get out. Yeah, I let him dibble with that on the side or whatever. He did what he got to. I don't know. I truly don't care. Y'all tell me how y'all feel about it, and I'll see y'all later.